If you want to really stick out to brokers and make sure you are the guy that gets all the deals sent to, you're gonna wanna stay tuned for this one. I'm Shane Harder, and I'm obsessed with becoming financially free through real estate. So let's become financially free together.
All right, so I just got to the Long Beach airport, and I'm getting ready to drive up to LA to go meet up with Andrew Tashjian. Really great friend of mine, actually. I've known him for many years, and he's a commercial real estate broker. I really want to find out how guys like that are able to help investors streamline their process, be more competitive, and just kill it in the real estate game. Let's check it out.
I'm here with my good friend Andrew. We've been friends for many years, and I keep seeing all these posts on Facebook where you're like, yeah, I just sold this like insane building. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, he's like crushing it at life right now. That's amazing. Your role as a commercial real estate broker, right?
I'm a commercial real estate broker, right? So I help sell buildings. Sometimes I help buyers buy buildings. Sometimes I help tenants find buildings to lease. And sometimes I help landlords lease buildings they own. So I kind of have like a 4-point strategy to my business. You can take this building, for example, 660 South Figueroa. I sold this building right here a couple years ago. So when it comes to an investor trying to work with me, I think it's important that you show me you have the ability to perform. Show me a track record. You know, you can say, hey, listen, Andrew, this past year I spent $100 million buying X, Y, and Z. You know, we didn't default on any of those. You know, we performed on all of those escrows. We have X amount of money and funds available to be deployed. Take me to lunch. I don't mind being pampered, wine to dine. I can't be bribed. That's of course illegal. But you know, it's the guys that like care about you. Like, hey man, like they want to get to know you, and you know, at the end of the day, if I'm selling a building for a client, my job, I have a fiduciary duty to get my seller the very best price possible. Period. And so that's a whole different business, right? But if you're coming to me looking for me to help you buy a building, to represent you in buying a building, man, I have literally 100 people trying to get me to help them buy buildings right now. How do you stand out? And if
so
you want to
stand out, like you said, treat you good, be a friend, be cool, obviously show that you can close.
That's probably the most important thing of anything.
Of course,
because any broker, all they care about, as much as they might like a free lunch, who cares about that? They want to make sure they get paid. It's all about respect to me. Like I respect myself, I respect my time, I respect the time of the people that might be selling a building. I don't want to waste their time, like calling them and running them through on late on a Friday afternoon at 2 or something. That's just going to be not going to amount to anything. I want to make sure that I'm being useful with my time, because time's all we have. Time is money, obviously. And you know, just anyone that will make my job easier. Like you actually have the money, you're actually going to pay a market price, you actually have a real strong motivation. Because all the guys are like, yeah, if you find me something super good, some screaming hot deal.
Well, everyone wants that.
It's like, you have to realize, brokers do not make a single penny until they transact a deal. So knowing that I don't work for you and I'm not going to make any money off of you unless you actually buy something, keep that in mind.
If we're going to wrap this up then, as far as like tips for investors, so working with commercial brokers, we've got obviously be able to close, know that you can close on a deal, be kind, right? Like just don't be a dick about stuff. And then what would be some other things? Like what are other ways
well,
that
we talked about track record, like show me your track record. But Shane, I could walk up to you and be like, hey, I own all these buildings, I've done X, Y, and Z. That's kind of like anecdotal. Spend the time to put it together in a 2-page, resume. Hey, show this to the owner of the building. He'll see that we're a real company, we have a real track record of closing, and we're the real deal. That would make life easy.
So right now you got like 100 people wanting you to do stuff. If one of the people that comes to you presents those kinds of things, I'm assuming they get bumped up to the top 10%.
Exactly. If there's 100 people trying to get me to represent them and work with them, my job as a smart broker is to say, okay, of all these 100 people, with whom am I going to have the highest likelihood of closing a deal? And so you need to figure out who's really active, who actually has the money, who can make, who has a track record that you could easily show, who's easy to work with.
What makes it easy to work with versus difficult?
Also a building to a company that has a strong construction capacity. So that makes my life easy, right? So they can do their own construction. They understand inherently what it takes to upgrade a plumbing system or electrical or mechanical system. Whereas the next guy, if he doesn't, if he's like, well, I gotta go and if he's asking me, hey, do you know a good contractor, I'm thinking, man, this is not who I want to work with. I want to work with a guy he's got an in-place team. He's done this before. He knows exactly how this stuff works. That increases that surety that he's a good buyer. There's always little things that slowly start to increase your confidence in them, and finally, like, that's my buyer. I'm going to work with this guy. I believe in this guy. And sometimes it's just authenticity. If you look me in the eyes and say, listen, I'm dead set on buying a building this year. I want to buy it in downtown LA. I want to buy it through you. And they give you that confidence. Not that you should believe everyone, but I do at the same time believe in the power of a handshake and the power of looking someone in the eyes and
Way to be old school, man.
I'm old school, bro.
Yeah, I love
I'm
that.
old school.
This is my quick rundown on all the points I gathered. I have 7 points here. First one is they want to know that an investor can close on the property, that they have funds in hand, that they are able to have the resources to make that deal work. The next thing to do is to put together documents showing you what you've done. So what's your track record look like? Show that you care, that you want to be friends. I mean, people want to do business with other people that they like, making it as easy as possible for them. If you're buying it with the intent to improve the property, showing that you have the construction resources or the connections to make sure that that can happen. It's all about increasing their confidence in you. And then lastly, coming down to a good old fashioned handshake, giving him a handshake, looking him in the eyes and telling him, I will close on this property. Those are my main takeaways. The next episode is going to be on Matt. He's a multifamily investor, started when he was really, really young, and he has a really cool investing history and story behind him. We already did a podcast with him, but I'm going to do a video walkthrough on some of his properties with him on the next episode. So stay tuned for that one, and I can't wait to see you guys on it. Okay, bye.